Republic, which is currently up and running and going. You know, I've been going in every day. I might have the frequency award for Utherverse. I've been going in every day, running around. I know all the secret things. I know the things you can climb up on. I know the stairs that say you can't get on. I know how to get on them. I know how to jump over the little gates that keep you from getting in, and how to escape that. I got it figured out, right? Because I spent a lot of time in there. So things are progressing, guys. You know, I know someone had asked me, hey, how come it's not moving as fast as we thought it was? It actually is, because there's different parts. So, and maybe Brian can cover a little bit of this. When you're building technology, there's different phases. Dawn can definitely tell you this, because people holler at her all the time because they don't understand the phase we're in. But there's different phases to rolling this stuff out. So in the background with the software people, they're working like crazy, getting everything together to make it all function and be a part of it. So why don't we start there, Brian, on just the complexity level of what you guys are doing and all the pieces that need to come together, and give everybody an update on the stage where we're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, I had a very interesting conversation about this with some very knowledgeable investors this morning, who, you know, in an hour conversation with their tech guys, just kept saying, I can't believe how much stuff you guys are doing, you know, in each of these different arenas. It's about the most complex development project outside of maybe NASA that could be encountered. But in order to test it properly, so what we've done is, it's almost like if you think about building a city where we're building it all off-site, so that we can move these big blocks into place and have it all assembled, you know, all at once, right? So we've prefabbed a bunch of these buildings, and then what we're doing right now is we're opening one road at a time. And we're testing the traffic flow. We're making sure that the road will connect everything, that, you know, we're not going to put a building which is too large in that block, kind of thing, right? So the state where we are right now, we released the software in beta on the 26th of September, and starting to test certain systems. And these are all systems that will function without our permanent API system. The API system is the communications network. It's the brain, spinal cord, and nervous system that will tie together all of these disparate elements. So it's got the Web 2 component that will interface with the metaverse. It allows the different sovereigns to get plugged in and to be recognized, so that we can, you know, add an unlimited number of sovereigns. It allows you to do things like right-click another person's avatar to be able to pull up things from the web, pull up things from the database, pull up things about where they are currently in the world. The things that we're in the process of testing right now in the beta is sort of the network syncing, so that everybody sees when I change clothes, everybody sees the new clothes that I have on. They don't see the old clothes that I was wearing. If my name tag is visible to everybody, and I change, I change a tag there. If I do an emote, for example, that everybody sees the same emote happening from my avatar, then we're activating these pieces of API and adding in the component that they attach to. So it's not like we haven't built these things. We've built them all. And now every few weeks, we will be adding in another major building block, and we'll go through and test it. And we actually don't have that many more to add in before we're going to be able really to just let everybody in. We've got the DJ capability, the streaming capability, we're going to be testing out the video streaming capability and sync all of that up so that we can have these kind of events in world, so that you can have parties, DJs, karaoke, all of movies, these types of things. But all of those pieces are built basically and just waiting to go through what I find to be a very annoying process. But it's because in my whole life, I always find that these things are an exercise in patience. We find these little tiny bugs, but everything needs to be debugged. And then when you add the new building block in, you need to make sure that it didn't introduce a new bug to the old stuff that you did. So it's kind of a rigorous process of beta testing, but we're going to see these things accelerate much more rapidly with the build that we do that's scheduled right now for middle of November. Is the next time we're going to take the development branch and integrate it into the live branch of the beta test. And then basically everybody else will be invited in who hasn't already made it in. And then we'll start to have events and parties and off to the races.
Excellent.
Hope that explains it.
Yes, very well. And then I guess the next part to cover is as it develops and gets launched, the avatars. Maybe we can talk a little bit about using lower end avatars now, and then going to higher end as the APIs and everything, web calls. See, you guys act like you guys are going like, hey, this guy knows about programming. I just heard Brian say it, and I am smart enough to put it all together. So I just said that. So Brian will explain to you what web calls are and why we've got the lower end avatars right now, which are just the start, and where we're going to head to. All right, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, definitely. Well, web calls are a very interesting aspect. So the way that typically games operate, and this is a huge problem for Metaverse, and people ask me, why aren't you building on Unreal Engine? And there's a bunch of reasons not to touch Unreal Engine. But even Unity, the engine that we are building on, has a real problem dealing with web calls. But what that basically is right now, when you download the beta sovereign for Utherverse, you're downloading all of it. So you get all of the textures, all of the clothing, all of the avatars, and the more graphically high quality things are, the bigger that download has to be, the more memory you need on your computer, the higher end processing you need on your computer. Now, what web calls allow us to do, and we've really had breakthroughs, this was what really proved that we could do this fourth generation metaverse, is the capability of stripping all of the content out of the download and loading it like you would a website. So the data, the textures, the high cost memory items can live anywhere on the internet, and we could do a call to grab them and populate it in real time inside the metaverse. So that allows us to do things like, you could be having an event and say, well, we need more tables, right? And you can immediately edit the room and add tables there. And we're just calling more tables from the web, bam, and they materialize. But it also allows us then to do these much higher quality avatars, the clothing that we have is limited because I said, I want the clothing to be high quality, and I'll sacrifice selection. Because I thought it was too important in beta testing that we look good in the clothes, right? But the avatars themselves are prior generation avatars. They're downgraded as far as quality goes because we just don't want to load everything in at these really high cost memory aspects. We've upgraded the Unity pipeline. It's called UMA, the Unity multipurpose avatar pipeline, to allow us to do what's called multipass rendering on the avatars. And that allows you to do multiple layers on top of layers. So you can really have depth of skin, you can get perspiration and you can get hair follicles, and, the hairs look so much nicer. You really get that detail. And we've got a very neat, it probably is not going to happen right away when we first put the avatars in. But we've got a very neat plan for how to allow for even higher quality avatars that are, super realistic. And those will be in small group settings. So if you're one-on-one, or if you're with a few people without breaking your computer, and that's the problem. We can do it. Is, I just don't want everybody to have to run on a super high power, gaming computer in order to be able to see a whole show with hundreds of avatars. But if you're in a small group, may as well have the highest quality, so everything looks as good as you want it to look. So that's kind of the game plan there, and we'll be adding in these high quality avatars. We'll be adding in a bunch of different there will be hundreds of thousands of clothing items once this thing is fully up and running. Clothing and accessories and hair and and the different highlights of hair and the capability to make your avatar more muscular, bigger, thinner, whatever you want. All of that is just dependent on us not building it because it's been built. In fact, that system is called the DNA system, the dynamic avatar attribute system, if I'm getting that right. All of that's been built. We're just waiting for one foot in front of the other as we roll out the beta.
Guys, I hope everybody caught as Brian was going through that, he went back to 18 years of experience, right? The things that they've done that didn't work, that everybody else is doing, that they're making those mistakes, which is why the other people that are building metaverses are so far behind. It's incredible how far behind they are, and they're building metaverses. Let's, Brian, talk about the universe that you're building, right? Because there is a Utherverse metaverse, but then there's much bigger than that is the universe or the Xeon browser that will plug into that whole thing. Can you explain that to everybody?
Yeah, and I think that you did a good job leading into that. So the idea here is initially we are building our own metaverse. I used the word sovereign before to refer to what we would call a website or a webmaster having their own website. So initially we are the only sovereign, but we're accessed through the Xeon browser. And the Xeon browser is a Web3 browser designed to browse both metaverse and the traditional flat web, what I call, the flat web, the traditional websites. The Xeon browser uses our own developed protocols so that we can recognize and make everything interoperable. It accesses our access control layers, which is a permission system to determine whether you have permissions to go from one metaverse to another, whether your avatar needs to change as you go from one metaverse to another, your clothing, for example, so you don't go from a rave to, your work, or from, a nude beach to Harvard, or from World of Warcraft, so all of these permission systems and access controls that are built into the protocols for the Xeon browser. But what this is going to allow us to do, once we've experimented with and launched successfully our own metaverse with, convention center, movie theater, concert halls, karaoke, comedy, shopping, all of these things, then we can release the tools for third parties to be able to build their own metaverse. Those are going to be very inexpensive. I mean, it's as easy as building a website. In some instances, easier because you're really able to sort of just grab things from a catalog, drop them in, and they will work. And then connect that metaverse to our search engine, connect that metaverse. You can get your own domain name through us because we're authoritative for search, we're authoritative for domains. You'll be able to connect those metaverses to other metaverses, so you can trade traffic, you can buy advertising, you can sell advertising, and people can click around with a very familiar format, which is a browser, but to browse this immersive web, this virtual world web. And when you build your own metaverse this way, you become a sovereign and you can change a bunch of the rules. And I'll give examples of rules because, changing the rules, right? What does that really mean? Well, for example, in the Utherverse metaverse, unless it's a special occasion, you're not going to be able to fly because we're going to act as humans. We're going to look like regular humans. But in another metaverse, flying may be the whole thing. You may want to do a heavenly metaverse where everybody's got angel wings and they fly around. Or you may want to do a game. In which case you want to change the user interface so that there's points and there's targets and these types of things. So you'll be able to change all of these types of rules. They will apply in your sovereign, and they won't necessarily apply in any other sovereign unless they connect with you and you do a handshake kind of thing.
Perfect, perfect. And guys, we're covering a little bit more of the business aspect of this, because right now Utherverse is doing what's called a CF offer, a crowdfunding offer under the Jobs Act that was enacted 15 years ago or so, whatever that time frame is. And that allows for, it was actually a great thing that passed that allowed for, before that, you had to be an accredited investor in order to invest in startups, right? You just couldn't do it unless it was a friend or family member. So this Jobs Act, the CF offer, allows for people to get involved with it and actually purchase shares in the core company of Utherverse. And that's why we're really getting into the business side of things, because if you're going to decide to get involved with it, you want to make sure that it's a business. So that's why I want to kind of cover those business aspects of Brian. So if you can maybe cover too, is one of the things you talked about, which I didn't even think of, and then you said it the other day, is domain services, right? So within the Xeon browser, VWW, can you maybe explain that a little bit and how that would work with the VWW?
Sure. Well, one of the things from having been in the metaverse space for almost 18 years now is we really have been able to flesh out the business models, the revenue models, and there's a lot of depth there. One of these pieces is domain name service. So in order to register a domain name for a website, you have to go to a domain name registrar, you pay a yearly fee, and you get your domain, nexusecosystems.com. We've got the same procedure here within the metaverse space now. So if you want to have a great domain name, because it's a browser, so there's a browser bar, and people will type in domain names in order to access your metaverse, or they can click, they can landmark it, all of these pieces. But there's valuable, where other metaverses have really driven off a cliff, is this idea of selling real estate. And so they lay out their metaverse in an enormous, as if it's real world land, an enormous grid. And you could buy parcels of land there. Well, the problem with buying parcels of land is you then own this virtual land. And as we all know, in the real world, it's all about location that matters. And why does location matter in the real world is because that's the foot traffic you get. So if you bought an expensive parcel of land and your neighbors end up not developing theirs, you've got land in the desert, in the virtual desert, right? That model, in my opinion, is absolute garbage. The real model here is the one that we've employed, is selling domain names, which is independent. So this land can exist wherever you want a link to exist. So in our metaverse, we rent door space in our main plaza. And that door can link right over to your metaverse. You put up a sign, we're not confined to having a room that's 10 by 10 for your store, because there's only 10 by 10 in the plaza. You could have the store be a whole metaverse that you've walked through this magical door. But in order to do that, you need a domain name, and good domain names will be memorable. People will say to other people, like they do right now, oh, head over to music.vww in the metaverse, and you'll go to our music, our festival. Great. So this is a revenue model. People will pay this as an annual fee, and it gives them an ownership presence on that domain name for their sovereign.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So Brian, let's talk a little bit about Republic. So
yeah,
you know what you can say. So I'm going to let you take the lead on Republic and what they can do. And the website is republic.com. You can just put in the search Utherverse and it'll pop right up, guys. So that is searchable. It is live right now, so you can participate right now in it. But go ahead, Brian, take it away.
Right. So we are doing a crowdfund for equity. It's the first time that we're offering equity to any but large scale investors. The minimum investment here is $100. And it goes up from there. There's perks and bonuses depending on the level that you choose to invest. You're actually buying equity in the whole operation. So the parent company, that's the U.S. company in Nevada. It owns Utherverse Digital completely, which is the Canadian subsidiary. And the crowdfund has got 89 days. It launched yesterday. We've got roughly 120,000 already reserved, but we're just starting to announce it. So we're only raising 1.235 there. So it closes once we've hit that mark. And it's a good point. Because it's a securities offering, I'm probably only allowed to discuss it in terms of what the actual offering is.
Right.
That it's equity, that there's an investment, but
and a lot of the stuff is on the site, like the market cap of the project, things like that, right? One of the unique situations that Brian was in with Utherverse is up until very recently, he funded the entire company. It was a very small cap table. It was Brian and some employees that were part of it that owned it. So that allowed for him to be able to set what I think is a great, market cap for it, of the potential of what's there, with the progress, 18 years of experience, all the stuff that comes along with it.
Right. And so to answer some questions here, I do believe that credit cards are accepted. I should know the answer to that, but I can't imagine that they don't. And the maximum, so they have a maximum on there, which is over $100,000 for an individual investor. I was told originally that maximum was going to be 2,500, but I don't think, I think that got changed. I wasn't involved in that decision. I think that's a legal requirement. So if you want to put in,
a lot of that, Brian, goes with the CF rules, right? There's only so much. In order for you to put in 100,000, you have to have X amount of income coming in, right? There's some rules, and Republic will cover that stuff when you go to do it. They'll walk you through the rules of what you are able, because it's not Brian's decision. It's not even Republic's decision. It's within the rules of crowdfunding. There are certain limitations that you can do, and Republic will walk you guys through that side of it on how that all goes. When you go on the page, you're going to see the 250, 500. What's shown there is additional on top of the shares that you're going to receive. They don't have it listed. It's this many shares in this. They just have the additional benefits. Essentially, you can just divide the share price by it, and it'll tell you how many shares you're going to get, whether it's 250 or 500 or 1,000. That is on there. Everybody's getting the same amount at the same price. There's just additional benefits that are there for you to look at from there. So what I'd like to do, guys, is open it up to maybe some questions. Now, if you ask a question that Brian's not allowed to answer, he's not going to answer it, right? And there are some things, just because, again, the rules and the way it is, there might be some stuff that he cannot answer. So the link is in the chat. Brian just put it in there for you to be able to go there. You can share this. They don't need to be part of Nexus, guys. You can share this with people that right? Somebody that likes to be involved in startups, early stage companies. You can send them a link to it. They can get involved with it, so we can spread the word here and help close out this first round of what's going on there. And it benefits us, right? Because of what we're doing with Next Web3, what we're doing with Nexus, the whole way we've tied into this, we benefit from the entire success of everything that's going on and all the stuff that's happening with it. So we're excited to be here. Brian, what else you want to talk about, buddy?
Well, I was excited to learn that we got two new patents issued on our technology. So I made that announcement today.
Wow.
And that brings me up to 109, if I'm counting right. It's a little bit iffy to figure out the U.S. Patent Office count. I might be over 110 right now, but it's at least 109. So that's exciting.
Brian, you had mentioned something that not the patents aren't only in metaverse. You have some VR patents, correct, as well, that fit into the virtual reality space, correct?
In fact, one of the ones that issued today was on head-mounted displays, and without characterizing the patent, generally, I would say that these head-mounted displays. I launched one of the very first VR film companies because I really wanted to learn everything that I could about VR. I figured, this is going to play with metaverse. We're going to have lots of VR experiences there. And I immediately realized that these headsets are dangerous. You're basically blind when you put on a headset. And there are real world things that happen. I was thinking about things like you can clear a space, but you're not clearing a space from your puppy running in front of you when you're running around, with a lightsaber game. So we really started to work on the technology to allow these headsets to alert you to danger. And that danger can take many, many forms. I mean, if a siren's going off, for example, you're going to have your smoke alarm goes off. All of these things, if you're immersed in VR, we didn't want anybody to be put in danger. I'll put it that way. You get so enthralled with what you're doing, and there's a real world alert. So that's one of the patents that was issued today, is on safety in a headset and how these headsets can be made to be more safe. But yes, we've got a suite of headset patents and metaverse patents and technology patents that for how we're going to ID people when they come into the metaverse, how we're going to do KYC and know your customer kinds of things over the internet. So it's there are so many areas involved. It's almost like building the internet from scratch again. And so really, the teams get head first into something, and how are we going to solve this? How are we going to solve this? We come up with the technology and obviously try to protect it.
Awesome. Well, and part of the dynamic of the company, right, is the economy within the metaverse. Let's cover a little bit about that economy, right? So you have the Utherverse token, which will become the commerce of it. You have people advertising, royalties, you have people selling things. Let's talk a little bit about that, Brian, because this could be a billion people, a couple billion people in a digital economy can generate a lot of revenue.
Right. Well, and when I got my start on the internet, I used to lament back in the very early day that I was so early, but I wasn't quite early enough. I didn't actually start the internet. And so there was a bunch of garbage that was already there, the ability to spam and the ability to do these things anonymously and all these kinds of hacks that really, I lamented that the internet wasn't, that I didn't create it as a private company and then have all of these enterprises build up on top of a more solid foundation and have a piece of all of those as an IPO machine, right? And so this time around, we've built the protocols, we've really built these access control layers, and we built these security systems with the tokenomics for being able to have sort of best of everything, best of decentralized, but also the best of the security of a centralized commerce system. And that becomes very tricky. And that's where a lot of this delicate dance goes and why it's so complicated really to do it right. But you don't want children coming in and being, we should never have allowed children to be able to access adult content on the internet. But adults should be able to access adult content. Children should not be able to go to a casino, but adults should be able to go to a casino. And children shouldn't be exposed to adults that could pose a threat to them, but they should be able to interact with other children. And how do you do all of these pieces? Commerce is a big part of that. The infrastructure layer, the protocol systems are a big part of that. And so, the revenue models sort of all materialize out of all of this complexity. So just to sort of touch on some top level items, we talked about domain name service as a revenue stream, it's search and paid advertising as a revenue stream. We've got a ticket system that allows third parties, almost like a ticket master. If you're going to have an event, people can go to this system and buy tickets for access. And there's revenue components that are built into that. So you can have a sales agent that gets a commission. You have the artist can get a commission, and really like smart contract layer commissions, including, of course, to the company. We get a commission for running the system. Catalogs where creatives can list their creations. So when we're talking about building your own metaverse, you're really going to have access to a massive amount of created content that somebody, your webmaster, your if it's a hobby, you could do it. If it's professional, you can have your team do it, pulling these assets, and a royalty goes to the creator, and these assets can be mix and match. So you're building a street with a convention center and buildings and apartments and shops, and all of those can be sort of prefabricated off of a catalog, or they could be customized. And there's royalties in every at every level there. And then there's the system access, which is generally, if you want to be able to private message other users, if you want to be able to access behind the scenes stuff, or it gets a little bit complicated here, but we have a whole dimension system. This is why I could talk for hours and hours about the tech. So we have a dimension system so that we can have high quality avatars, but you're not going to see 1 million of them in the same place. There could be 1 million people attending a concert, and you may be in a dimension with 100 people, right? And that gives you the most quality experience. So your box seat, is in a spot with 100 other users, even though there's 1 million people watching the concert. That box seat may only allow 80 people in normally. And then if you have this premium system access, you can bust that pop cap up to 100. So if I want to join you, Peter, and you're in a region with 80 people, if I'm the premium VIP, I would be able to go in there and be the 81st person. But if I didn't have that, I would be prohibited from going and joining you because those 20 spots are reserved for people that can bust the pop cap. So lots and lots of like little details like that I know no other metaverse has ever thought about, let alone implemented, right? And that's where the experience comes into play. So busting pop cap and being able to do the private messaging and being able to have access to the expanded wardrobe and multiple avatars. And that's a monthly recurring billing. And that's where, these perks, like on Republic, so you get a year of VIP, or when you bought a trunk, you may get a year of VIP. That's the expanded system privilege that you're not paying for.
Perfect. All right, let's talk about a couple other areas, because I think a lot of us think, and I actually thought at one point, well, I won't do anything in a metaverse. I know now I'm going to be doing almost everything in the metaverse as doing business. I mean, we use Zoom now. As soon as it's ready, we'll be having our office in the metaverse. I want to be able to poke Corey instead of have to, say, hey, Corey, are you here, when he's muted and I can't see him. I'll be able to see his avatar, right? Go up and slap him around a little bit or whatever. No, don't do that at work. That's not proper at work, but it is at our work. But anyway, so let's talk about work in the metaverse. And then the other subject I'd like to cover, Brian, and you and I have talked about this, and that is influencers in the metaverse, right? This whole concept of the influencers now on YouTube and all these other social media sites, where I personally believe that there'll be more money because of, instead of watching somebody, I can experience with them. I can do things, especially with AI, I would be able to have experiences with my person I'm following versus just watching them go through the experience. So maybe we can cover those two things: work and social media.
Yeah. Well, I can convince pretty much anybody that they're going to be spending a huge amount of time in the metaverse, because the safety, the convenience, the destruction of cost structures, so these efficiency improvements. And when I talk about efficiency, and disruption, I mean, that used to be a very popular term. The internet disrupted a bunch of brick and mortar businesses. Well, look at Amazon. They started as a bookstore online, and it was so disruptive to bookstores that they became the everything store online. And you're hard pressed to find a bookstore, but that's not even their business really anymore, right? I like to talk about conventions as being just a perfect example of disruption that the internet couldn't disrupt, the flat web couldn't disrupt. You have registration for a convention on the flat web, and then you take your company, you fly 20 people out to Las Vegas, you're booking hotel rooms, you're spending $250,000 constructing your trade show booth. You've lost a week worth of work from all of these employees because they're manning the trade show booth. Here in Metaverse, and you're very limited in terms of who is actually going to access your booth. These are other people who had to fly out to Vegas and also go through that expense structure. And incidentally, carbon footprint, which we really don't need to get into, but I'm sure you can all understand that that is carbon heavy, right? Instead, you can have a trade show booth. The cost is 1/1000th of doing it in a physical environment. Your staff can attend and still be at the office or still be at home. They're attending as avatars. The attendees can come from all over the world. So you get 100 times the attendance. The tickets can be vastly reduced because you're not renting this massive convention center and having to pay for security and pay for all of these related expenses. So the disruption in trade shows, I mean, that's one of the reasons why trade shows have been so successful in our classic system, but that's massively disruptive, and everybody is going to be attending trade shows or attending film festivals or music festivals or a wedding. So my grandparents can't come out from Europe to my wedding, but they can attend in the metaverse. And by the way, my wedding can be spectacularly better even if I'm on a budget, because we're doing things at 1/100th, 1/1000th of the cost, right? So eventually everybody gets pulled into the metaverse, just like people who said, I'm never going to use a cell phone, just like people who said, I'm never going to use a computer, right?
Microwave, right?
And
ATM
even,
machine, it goes on and on.
the automobile, oh my God, you'd never get into one of those death contraptions. My horse is quite fine for us, thank you. So, it's just this inevitable progression. And for work, of course, it adds all kinds of dimensions. So, mixed reality things for work. What we've already found is things like remodeling your office or remodeling your home. So what we did for our physical office, before I moved in a bunch of teams, we created a digital version of the office, and then we started moving walls around. And then we started blowing out walls and putting glass, and tried the doors here, tried this group here, saw where, okay, well, we really couldn't have the developers next to customer support because the phones are ringing. So let's move them around, and then you get the workflow properly. And then, ta-da, you have a physical office, but also on days where nobody's coming into the office, you're using that same office space and people are at their same machines, and you have all of this additional multimedia capability. So I can still walk around. I can still look at what's on people's monitors. They could hide it, but I could see it, and I can pull up other people's monitors and say, no, this is what Lizelle is working on for graphics. You need to make this compatible so that this goes over there. And this is impossible to do in a real world office without saying, unless you have a laptop, bring your laptop over to this office because I want to show them what's on your screen too, right? You just have all of this depth, that's office work. There's obviously retail space where, you can have a customized store based on user preference. So just like Amazon can show you things that you probably want to buy, that you might be interested in. When you walk into the store for the fourth time, we can have a whole shelf that is, Peter's shelf, because these are things we think you might want to browse. And that's custom to you. Other users don't see that. The second part of your question was?
Social media.
Oh, yes, social media. So obviously here we've got a whole new platform. So what's important to recognize is that Web 2 is not going away, just like Web 1 didn't go away. So what we've done is we've really integrated apps, social media, and metaverse in our offering, so that, for example, even now in the beta, if you right click on another user, you'll see that there is a link that you can pull up their profile. And that profile, once that API is in place, that profile will pull you up to their social media, where they can have a customized page for themselves. They can have a feed, they can be an influencer. But then there's all kinds of other options on top of integrating that traditional social media. So any sovereign can add their social media components as part of adding that sovereign. So in that sovereign, you're pulling up different profile information, different social media information. And of course, then there's the ability to have your actual audience embodied in the environment. So here you get, it becomes a whole integration thing. I'll see if I can even describe it. There's AI components, there's recording components, there's back channel capabilities. So, you can have, let's say, in a college class, we call them teaching assistants, right? You can have your influencer assistants who are populating various dimensions where your avatar. So if I'm having a social media event to 2 million of my followers, right? I wouldn't be able to respond to 2 million people. We can have them grouped into dimensions, and you can have dimensions managed by dimension assistants, and all of that sort of aggregated with AI to be able to funnel the important information back and forth to the influencer. And this can, what I'm describing probably is just scratching the surface, because what ends up happening, of course, is we offer these kinds of technologies, and the end users end up finding all new kinds of ways to apply this. And that's where I'm really excited, because we always, already, like you're saying, you're finding all these nooks and crannies, and this is just the very first beta. But when it's live in production and we give the users the ability to script things, all kinds of other things become available. But you can imagine that we're adding a dimension to two-dimensional social media. Maybe that's the easiest way to describe it. Just use your imagination, right? We now have, you can shake hands and hug your influencer. You can act out and present in a much more immersive kind of way. And that's where things are going to just go absolutely, it's a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I believe that as it launches, the highest paid influencers are going to be the ones that master the metaverse, right? The Mr. Beasts of it. And of course, with a new medium, it allows for new people to take that. Not everybody on YouTube will convert right away. They won't learn to master it because they're YouTubers and they'll stay there. But there will be the people that get in, they learn it, they master it, and they'll become the major stars in that space. So I think it opens the door for a lot of people. Maybe some of you guys out there say, I want to be an influencer, but there's already 85 fishermen influencers, but we're going to teach you how to make it happen in the metaverse, and you'll have your chance, right, at it. So
can I put it this way? Can I put it this way and date myself? Video killed the radio star.
Exactly. So metaverse is going to kill the YouTube star. No, just
You got
all
it.
right. Let's see. We got a couple of questions. So Ken, I'll answer this question. The token, we've partnered with an incredible company that's helping in putting that all together. First quarter of next year. That's the time frame that'll come together there. We'll definitely have some more information on that. Brian, can you answer how the Epic Games is going with that? Can you update people on that or not? If you can't, I don't want you to, but if you can, that was one of the questions.
Well, I can. And I'm going to probably post something about this in the next few days after I see it in writing. But major victory today in court. This was, I think, Epic Games' last kind of Hail Mary. They were trying to get the case, they've become very desperate. They were trying to get the case delayed. They were asking for a stay while they, screwed around. I won't get into the specifics, but they asked the judge for a stay, and I guess I really shouldn't do color commentary on it. Let me just say it was absolutely denied. The case is now moving forward, and the time frame now is exactly what we thought it would be. So there's no more delays. We're looking at next few months and if Epic doesn't come to the table with a legitimate offer to try to clear this, then it should go to trial early part of 2024, as I understand it. Because this was kind of their last, I think, option for pushing it off, as they've been trying to do.
Okay, awesome. Brian, I've never used Republic. I've used some of the other crowdfunding platforms. Is it available in Canada? So someone from Canada tried it, and then someone else from Canada. So is there a special way they need to do it from Canada, or?
Yeah. So in Ontario, I guess Republic says that they aren't available in Ontario. But when you try to access Republic, it gives a blanket, this isn't available in your area. You just have to click, this doesn't apply to me.
Okay.
So assuming that it doesn't apply to you, click that it doesn't apply to me, and you should be able to gain access. What's super annoying is literally every time I go to the Republic page, and obviously I'm in British Columbia and Vancouver, it gives me that warning every time. I'm like, first of all, British Columbia is not Ontario. I know Americans don't really typically understand Canadian geography, but we're on the other side of the country. I would think it would be easy to figure that out, but doesn't apply to me, and bam, no problem.
Perfect. There's no timing right now on the IPO, guys. There's the CF offer. That's stuff that I don't think we're allowed to project or anything on that nature of when it's going to take place. It'll take place when it does. And the first thing is to get through the CF offer, and then the next stage will be revealed, and then the next stage on that side of it. So let's see. Drew wants to know if he can have superpowers for your avatar. That will depend on which sovereign you're in. There will be sovereigns that will let you have superpowers. There will be others that you will not be able to have superpowers in.
Please do not give Drew, of all people, superpowers. Please, I'm afraid.
Well, I will say this. We have enabled a superpower, which is the super jump. And this is what, Peter, I'm sure you're using to jump onto stairways that you're not otherwise able to access. And usually this month in October, we do some fun stuff for Halloween. So we start to allow people to come in as not necessarily human. You could be a robot, or you could wear a costume, or a dinosaur, as long as you're a small dinosaur. So we'll see, but generally not in the Utherverse sovereign. It's really designed to be a replica of the real world. And believe me, that's another huge mistake I think that metaverses have made, where letting people fly, letting people, do things, lift up cars and things. It sounds fun, but it becomes very disruptive when you've got an influencer who wants to give a talk, when you've got a concert going on. So we're very conscientious of it. And that's why I love the idea of sovereigns. It's really, one of my favorites. So, there are other metaverses on the platform that you can play around it, and they can enable all kinds of stuff. And then when you want to come back down to reality and meet somebody and go out on a date, or have your wedding, you're not in attendance at the wedding is not, an Eiffel Tower costume walking around or something.
Right. Yeah, somebody flies right in the middle of your
Right.
high dudes, right? Those type of
Right.
things. Well, excellent. Well, Brian, anything else you'd like to say to the community? Kind of closing remarks on what it is. Of course, we can post again the link to Republic in there again. Marty got already through it already. She's already becoming an investor. So she went through Republic while we were on here, used her credit card. So it's pretty simple to get to the process. So you can go check it out yourself. But anything else, Brian?
Well, just that I love the idea of having people that understand the project, that can really be cheerleaders for the project, also being investors, and also contributing to, the success. So we all ultimately benefit. We all help each other out. It's the nature that the world should be. And I'm really grateful to all of the support that we've received from Nexus and the Nexus community. I mean, it's just really been highly motivating and I'm deeply grateful. I'll put it that way. It's been a wonderful experience working with you and being able to, have these discussions with the community because it's just a very heartfelt and genuine.
I got to tell you, Brian, they make me proud. So I get to get a lot of the credit for what everybody does. And they definitely make me proud. They step up every single time. They do what's necessary. And we love supporting great projects that we believe can bring a positive impact on the world. And Utherverse is one of those projects. I've gotten to know Brian much better over the last however long we've been working on this. And he's somebody who cares about people. He cares about the world. He cares about his impact in the world. And 8 years ago, we set out to, leave this place better than when we got here. Brian has that same exact philosophy. So as you guys are investing and deciding to become part of Utherverse, that's what you're becoming part of, something that is here to not just make money, and it's going to make money, but to also make this a better place and leave a positive impact. So
because
thank you, Brian.
What is the point? What is the point of having money if you're always stressed about the state of the world? You're always stressed about that you've done something wrong. I mean, we're all human, but our mission must be to elevate and to leave better than we arrived. So absolutely, Peter. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Well, excellent. Brian, we don't want to keep you too much longer. Guys, we're going to stay on and talk about a few other updates, stuff that we have. Again, thank you, Brian, for letting us be part of this. When this first came about, I was invited to go to California. I went to California and I was sitting there with the guys, and microtransactions came up and I just lit up, right? It's like, oh my God, somebody else finally gets the real value in blockchain and all this other stuff. So we hit it off from the beginning, and there was a choice, Brian had go in this direction or this direction. Thank you for picking us and allowing us to be a part of this, because it's been a fun journey up to this point, and it's going to continue to be great.
Yes, it is fun and great. Awesome.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
You guys hear my wife clapping? She's up there watching the Diamondbacks. I think they're doing good against the Phillies because she's up there clapping and hooting and hollering because they're hitting the ball, I guess. I don't know. I'm not up down here.
Say it's because she's clapping for Brian.
She probably is clapping for Brian as well, but she's also clapping for the Diamondbacks. So.
All right. Golly. Take care, all.
All right. Thanks,
guys.
Brian.
Thanks, Brian. Wow, guys, that was pretty exciting. I'll answer this last question too. Are you thinking we will be able to rent our NFT? So I actually talked to Brian about that, guys. And here's the thing is Next Web3, one of our very first projects that we're going to engage with is Brian said, Utherverse will not have you rent your FNFTs. However, a private organization can API, build the technology, and they can become the person who would allow people to rent their apartments and do that stuff. So we're already volunteering for it. I think we got a head start on everybody else. So that will be with Next Web3. One of the proposals, of course, the community has to accept it and say, yes, they want to, but we'll build an early proposal about us becoming the ability for people to rent, not just the FNFTs, but all kinds of stuff in the metaverse. So we'll participate in that as a separate business entity that'll be powered by the DAO. Hopefully that answers that question. So let's see. We got another one, or did I? Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me erase that one or say it's answered.
Rhonda, please read the chat. We have somebody who needs to be removed.
Oh yeah, get rid of that person for sure. All right, not appropriate at all. All right, well, let's see. Let's talk about Web3 and let's talk about Nexus Web3. So one of the things I want to do is I want to walk you guys through, if you're already part of what we're doing, can somebody please remove them right now, Art M76? Boot
Rhonda,
them, please.
you just need to kick them out. You're host.
You-
Corey gave you host controls. That would work too.
Art
Okay.
M76, we know you're a moron and an idiot. We're going to get you out of here very, very quickly, okay?
Disgusting.
Yes. Not the kind of people that we want to be part of what we're doing. We're here to leave this place a better place, not having you involved with it at all.
I can't get the host back, guys. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I am sure you do not care, Art, but sure, Rhonda, give the host back to Corey, please. Just make him host.
Or anybody. Just give them anybody host.
He's gone. He's gone.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, sorry about that, guys,
Yep.
but you know, it's an open platform for
Yep.
people to come on board. Evidently, they felt that somebody cared really about their opinion and that has
Yes.
anything to do with us. So again, I apologize. I'm sure that offended everybody on here. And I do apologize that was in there and from there. So, okay. So let's talk Nexus Web3, guys. We want to walk you guys through. If you already were part of the previous project, you're already signed up. You don't need to re-sign up again. Dawn's going to walk you through exactly what you need to do. If you are bringing people in over the next week, she's going to show you how when you go through the registration process, you get there, there's a continue button. You just hit that because there's no minting. So ultimately with Nexus Web3, you will have to mint an Avigami in order to get your referral link. So it doesn't, you sign up, you get a referral link. It's you sign up, you mint your Avigami, you get your referral link. What we've done is because you can't mint until the 1st, right? And on the 1st, you will be able to mint. But you can't until then. So what we've done is made it where it's going to take you to the mint page, but you just need to skip it right now by hitting continue, and it'll take you through and it'll get your affiliate links and you can share that out to people. So that no cost right now to get out there and start sharing this and growing this. We had a great presentation, I think, tonight. I got a lot of texts on it that people are understanding what we're doing and the direction that we're heading in. So we're excited about that. So Dawn, if you want to pull up what they need to do first, if the people that are already in, because most of the people on here are already probably in, they participated with us in with bees, and so they've already done that, and they have a credit waiting for them once they go get set up. So if you are somebody who was with the project before and you want to get signed up, this is exactly what you're going to do. Don will show you.
Yeah, absolutely. Super simple. So you're going to go to the login page because you need to reset your password. Your email is already back here. You already have an account. I'm sorry, let me log out. I had logged in. Let me log out from here too. Apologies. I was trying to get all ready. Okay, so you just go to log in on the website, nextweb3.io. And when you click login, you're going to go to reset password here. And when you do that, it's going to just ask you, what is your email address? And you put in your email, then you check that email. You're going to send password reset link. You're going to get your email, do what it says, just follow the prompt, get on the link, reset a password, create a new password. Then that's going to allow you to log in. And once you're logged in, let me show you what that looks like. Because there's just a couple of simple steps you need to go through. So basically, you're going to land on the dashboard and it's going to guide you. There's going to be a black screen that comes up with a guide, and it's a user guide right here. But you can skip through all of that if you understand a back office. If you don't understand a back office, let the guide just show you where everything is, okay? It's not that big of a hassle, and it doesn't take very long. So the first thing you need to do, though, is click Become an Affiliate, because if you want a link to share and get this growing, you want people to come in and mint and you get commissions, you have to be an affiliate in order to do that. So you're going to click Become an Affiliate. It's going to ask you just a couple of simple questions, nothing too complex. You're going to fill that out. Oops. And then enter a little bit more of information. And you're going to connect a wallet. So you've got to have a wallet, can be any kind of wallet. MetaMask, Coinbase, you have lots of options here. If you don't see yours, Trust Wallet, all those things. You're going to connect your wallet because we want to pay you commissions, and we cannot do that if we don't have your wallet on file at Mint. There's just not going to be any way to pay you that. So this is very important. We want this before Mint starts. So please give that to us. If you need help, of course, getting a wallet, you can reach out to any of us. There's lots of videos. I am going to have some trainings videos back in the back office for you to help guide you on those things too. But click submit. And then the very next thing you have is your terms and conditions to become an affiliate. You can just scroll. You can read through it, of course. But scroll all the way down to almost the bottom. And there are just a couple of boxes that I need you to check before you can sign this agreement. So you've got to check all 4 of these or it will not accept. Then the next thing you need to do is sign it. And of course, you're going to use your mouse or whatever. And then you're going to accept signature, because I need to know that this is the signature you want to use. If you don't like it, you can clear it and try it again. And then just accept it, and then you can submit. So submit will highlight here and kind of flash at you that now you're ready. And then once you do that, you will come to the Mint page, because typically from the first on, any affiliate, in order to get your affiliate link, you're going to have to have minted an Avigami. So you're just, for now, until the 1st, you're just going to click continue for now. So just click continue, and continue button will be moved over tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to move it over on the right side, guys, where the registration button is. So it'll be a little easier flow to see it there on the right.
Absolutely. So then you come to your user details. Once you've done that, now you have a menu. Now you have tools. Now you have an affiliate link. I'll show you where to get that. You've got a little bit of reporting here in the back office. So you can take a look at those as things start filling out. Like I said, we'll have training videos back here. We're already preparing those. You'll have affiliate resources. This consists of different social media posts that you can copy and paste into your own social media. So we've got some graphics for you. We've got some post copy. some things you can say, and it's just all laid out for you. So that's just going to be in a Google Drive document. So hopefully that will help you. And if you go to marketing, you will see referral links. So you can click on referral links first. And what you can do is generate different links for different things that we're going to have available for you. This will help you market. This will help you also test things and figure out which kind of video or which site is working best for you to bring people that you know in. You can track that. It'll have visits here. So I'm going to create the first one for the website. We're going to have lots of things here for you too. Lots of choices here. These are only the first two that we've got. We also have the sizzle video. I think Corey showed you the sizzle video at some point, and you can generate one for that too. And that will bring people in under you. Okay, so you can do all those things. Also, you can do banner templates. If you have your own blog or you have your own website, we're creating different banners here for you to use. You just click on generate the banner and you can see what it kind of looks like. When you copy here, it's going to copy the actual code, the HTML code that you would put on your website or your blog. So that's for those who have those kinds of things. Email templates, you're going to be able to click on email templates. This is only one of many that we're going to provide. We'll also have some text copy as well in this marketing section. So you can just copy and paste and text your heart out. But this email template is very simple to use. You're going to see different email templates available for you. When you view it, it's going to pull it up for you. You can read through it, see if it's one that you want to use. You're just going to click copy. You're going to go to your email provider. You're going to put in people's emails. You're going to paste this into the email. You're going to change it just a little bit, of course. You're going to put the person's name if you want. And then I would definitely put in the different links that we have available for you. These are your affiliate links. So yours to the presentation, yours to the personal affiliate link, to the website maybe. So you're just going to have some tools here to help you. You don't have to worry about, I don't even know what to say to people. How do I share this? You don't have to worry about that. We're going to try to make it super easy for you. So you can just take all the guesswork out of it. So that is pretty.
And yeah, Ken, Rhonda's going to be, we'll have this whole marketing system. It'll have posts. She'll put a lot of stuff up there that you can use in all the different social medias and stuff like that.
Dawn just showed you the social media stuff. So Ken, it's all in there. If you open up the social media copy, at the top, there's a link to the images themselves, and the copy's just, a cut and paste, really just, all the images are in the link that's at the top.
So this here has all the graphics.
Yeah.
Basically what you're going to do is on the document, it's giving you examples of the post with the graphic. So you're just going to copy this post information and then choose that graphic that will come up. Okay, you're going to choose this graphic, save it on your desktop, whatever, on your laptop, social media, upload it there, copy and paste this text. Bam, you've got a social media post ready to go. Super simple for you.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's see. Let's cover Corey is going to be putting together. Are you here, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. You want to give them a quick rundown of your supercharged double grow your business faster than well, I can't say that word, but okay, really super fast and accountability and what maybe give them a time frame on when you'll start having some calls and that type of stuff for the people that are serious about building a big community.
Sure. So let's see, I'm looking at my calendar. Since we're minting on the 1st, we're looking to do a Monday, the 6th of November. I'm going to be starting a class called The Path to Enrichment. Some of you guys may have taken my courses in the past. It's been a while. It's been a few years, but I did teach for a few years, and it's about time to bring it back. It's going to be partially personal development, and it's going to be partially becoming an influencer and how to bring people into a business. And so times have changed a little bit, so the class is going to change a little bit, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a commitment, and it's going to be we're going to start Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern. And so we're going to start that first day off, and you're going to have everything you need when you come to that class, and I'll lay things out for you. But it's ultimately in the journey of becoming a better you, being the best version of yourself, is when really the magic happens of being able to attract people into what you're doing. And there's a whole science, and there's a whole movement and change that happens within. And I think you could probably ask anybody that's taken the class, looking at the chat here for a second, you can ask anybody that's taken the chat. For me, becoming the teacher is going to be great for me, because I feel like I really need this class right now in my life. So it's going to be good timing for everything, and it'll be good to see you guys there. And yes, you can still get in. Sharona, I don't believe, I'm not sure if Sharona had passed out a Google form yet, but we're going to do that shortly. If you have not seen it yet, you're going to see it shortly. So you can go ahead and register
I
for the
collected
class.
all the names from a couple of calls ago.
Perfect.
Yeah. So if you had your name in there,
and we'll get a sheet up for anybody that wants to attend. Guys, I am going to say this. The big, giant classes is going to be harder for people only if you're serious. Well, some other stuff down the road, but if you're serious about building this community, that is the reason Corey is running this course, to find the 20, 15, 18, 19 people that seriously want to help. First of all, they want to grow their own income, right? They want, 5,000-10,000 a month coming in from residuals and from the affiliate program. And they want to get in the bonus pools, right? The 4 different bonus pools. This is for people that really want to build and that are going to take the knowledge that he's going to put there and help you grow it. Now, if you want to come in and say, I think I might be that person, Corey will give you the instructions on that, guys. But this is my goal is for 12 to 24 people that are absolute serious about making this happen. And this becomes the driving nucleus of us getting to 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000. And guess what? If you're not able to get in the class because you're not that person, you'll still benefit from it. Rising tide raises all ships. And the goal is for us to get to, a huge community. So the right Web3 projects want us. We're not out looking for Web3 projects. Web3 projects are hunting us down, begging us to be, right? When we sit there and go, we got 8 to pick from, we can only do 1. We want to make sure that we're able to negotiate our terms and what we want out of it and make sure that you guys are going to benefit. So this is for serious people. Keep that in mind. And, and I'll turn it back over to you, Corey.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, we'll get a form out just in case there's some people out there in Discord and Nexus Ecosystem that want to take the class. I think I covered it all. If you guys think I missed anything, I think I got it.
Nope, the 6th is when it starts. Sharona will post a document if you think you want to be part of the class. Corey's going to make you sign in blood when the first day of the class to make sure you're going to do what he teaches you, and all will be good. So Make sure you bring a sharp instrument to poke your finger with on the first day of the class.
Yeah, it's kind of like, have you seen the show where they brand their people?
And I don't want no wimpy little pokes either.
Yeah,
it's got to be so you can read the writing, right? We don't want any just little light writing there. Just a joke, guys. I'm only kidding. You're not going to have to poke yourself. It's going to be great information, and we're going to have a great time. Okay, so Dawn, we went through, if you're already signed up, if it's a new person signing up, guys, you will have to handhold them because they're going to have to get to the mint page. They're not going to know what to do. You're going to have to say, hey, make sure you hit the continue button. you can't mint. So if you just send somebody there, they're going to get there and they're going to get confused and they're going to go, I don't know what the heck is going on. So this next week is really about you walking people through. So get them the information, they get on a presentation. Yes. Okay. After that, I'll walk you through getting you started. Get on with them and say, okay, now click on my link. Okay, now sign up. Okay, this is the mint page. This is where you're going to come back to on the 1st, the 2nd, or the 3rd to mint your NFT, right? But for right now, hit the continue button. So this is the legwork stage where once the first launches, they won't have to. It'll walk them right through the whole process. But right now, best for you to take the time, walk them through, and get them started, all right? Again, I'll cover, guys, next Web3 is about building the community that is going to drive the Nexus ecosystem, okay? It will be the community that we need in order to take the project we've already launched, bring them to their full fruition, launch new and exciting projects, and have the community already in place to make those become successful. And the last part is leave this better than when we got here, this entire world, right? Because of decentralization and the fact that we're all working together for the financial benefit of every single person that's involved. Anything else we need to cover, Dawn? But I got to tell you, first of all, guys, give this entire team, for you guys that are on here, a hand. They have been working extremely hard. I've already told them, don't worry about a day off in November. There isn't one. We're going to be here and drive this thing, make it happen. They're building systems. They're building content. They are doing everything that's necessary for us to lead to success. And then the next thing is give yourself a hand. Guys, thank you for being here, for supporting the projects that we've done, for hanging in there with us. It has been the longest. We are literally the 5th. So we're like 11 days away from a 2-year bear market birthday party. Okay. 2 years. This has been dragging on. A lot of people said, oh, and they've gone on the back burner, or they've just kind of disengaged. You guys are the ones that have stayed with us. It's made it possible for us to stay here, for us to stay engaged in it. The reward is coming. Okay. The reward is coming. It is right around the corner with the halving, with the ETFs. And not only that stuff, guys, those are things that'll happen, events that'll happen. My belief system is we have finally gotten to the part where the utility, the functionality of blockchain, NFTs, cryptocurrency, smart contracts, they are now going to change the world. They are going to make things simpler, easy, less expensive. They are going to go and take industries that are doing 30 billion a year and siphon off billions of dollars of that. And instead of that all going to the big corporations like it does today, it's going to go to us, the people that are in place. But it's imperative, guys, that we build the biggest, we don't have to have the most people, but a big community of people that are focused on this Web3 space. That is the key to success. Community is commerce. Let's conquer the participatory economy and be the people that bring massive millions of people out of the situation that they're going to end up in with the technology that's coming. So thank you for being here tonight, guys. We really appreciate you. Let's make next Web3 an absolute home run right out of the gate. Just drive this thing forward.
I'd like to just build on that and just ask you all, those of you, I mean, we've all been here through the bear market, and we all know people within the True Badger and Nexus system ecosystem that have disengaged. Please reach out to 2 or 3 of them this week and say, hey, you've got to come back on. We have a call on Wednesday night when we launch the mint party, if you will, and we'll post details on that. Make sure they come, have them re-engage and just watch what's happening and get back involved. Otherwise, I'm afraid that they're going to miss the bull running through the streets and, waking everything up. And we don't want that to happen, because we all made some really good friends, and they might be asleep or off doing something else, and invite them back in and have them just take a look at what's going on now. And that is how we can help re-engage and build this community. So good people that are out there that are missing some of this fun. So let's get them back in.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, starting November 1st, we're going to through December 20th. My arms are sore because the team keeps twisting my arms, telling me we need to give away thousands of dollars and thousands of dollars. And so we're going to set that up, and we're going to give away, I don't know, Corey was trying to talk me into like 10 grand that he wants me to give away between now and December 20th to people that are helping us grow the community. So we're going to come up with some rules for that, guys. We'll get that out. I believe we're going to announce it on November 1st, right? But you're going to want to be in motion already. You're going to want to already be getting into the habits of what it takes to help us build the community. And we'll get you some more details on that. I actually thank the team for twisting my arms. It's a good thing that they're doing it, because we're going to make some great things happen, guys. So thank you. We'll see you guys on the next call, next presentation, right? The next one is a presentation. I've got that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And please follow all social media. It's time to build. Please get on there, follow, like, comment. We're posting. Please get in
Share.
there.
Get
Yeah,
people to join.
did we set up the link tree or a beacon for it?
Not
do we
yet.
have it
We
set up?
did for social
I've
media.
got one with videos and social media on it. Yes.
Okay, can we post that in here real quick, guys? Just so people have the beacon, so they can make it easy.
Easiest way to connect. And then like, share, and like you say, Dawn, share. So invite people to follow all of those social media.
Yeah, we got to
And
build it.
We got to build.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There it is. Perfect. Thank you, Corey.
Love
Here's
you
the
guys.
beacon.
Thank you,
Love
everybody,
you guys.
for joining
We'll
us.
see you on Thursday.